Welcome to NEXTGames video on how to beat the warrior's path against Tenzen. This is one of December 2019's monthly objectives, so I thought it would be a good time to do this video. Additionally, this is one of the easier fights to do on Very Difficult, which makes it an easy way to farm Plutons, Boulders, and Bietsu. The fight itself is against Tenzen and 3 stationary Tarus, Kuki, Cherukuki, and Maki. During the fight, the 3 Tarus will cast spells on you and ranged attacks. They cannot be killed, but can be slept if you have that option available to you when you do this fight. Kuki is a BLM type mob, and the most dangerous of the 3. He uses elemental magic, stun, sleepka, and in rare cases, meteor. Cherukiki is a white mage, and will cure, buff, and erase Tenzen, as well as use silence, slow, diaga, holy, and banishka on you. Maki is a ranger type mob and will simply use range attacks and isn't really a threat in this fight. The main risk from the Tarus is Kuki's meteor, which will normally wipe all of the trust other than Yoran, who will normally live through it due to his stone skin. If this happens, you are left to finish the fight with just Yoran, which is more difficult but very doable. The only other thing to note is Kuki and Cherukuki have some pretty quick casting Ga spells, such as Diaga and Poison Ga that can wipe your shadows quickly, so make sure you watch out for that. Tenzen will switch back and forth between his great katana stance and bow stance throughout the fight. The great katana stance is more dangerous due to the multi-hit weapon skill, so try to do as much damage as you can during bow stance. Sometime around 50 to 70% hit points, Tenzen will use Yagasumi, which will make all of your weapon skills miss, and if you continue to use weapon skills, they will actually buff him during this phase, so when you see him use this move, make sure you do not use any weapon skills for 45 seconds. At 50%, Tenzen will eat a rice ball that will boost all of his stats by 25% and give him a damage taken reduction of 25%. Under 50%, he can use Amatsatu Shikori, which is similar to Meiko Shushui in that he seems to repeatedly use weapon skills during this phase, but all of your attacks will hit for 0 damage. When this is used, you want to just get out of his melee range, and once it wears off, he will come to you, which is a sign that you can once again damage him. He will also use Meiko Shushi multiple times during the fight. During these phases, make sure you are ready to recast your shadows over and over, as many of his weapon skills are multi-hit and can blind, silence, and paralyze you. So the main focus of this fight is to get in as much damage as quickly as you can, as the longer it goes on, the more chance there is of Kuki using Meteor. Use Magic Burst to speed along the fight as much as you can, but try to make sure that you have multiple shadows up before doing it so that you do not put yourself at risk. I am using my dual wield 0 setup for this fight. I use this setup when I know I will be capping my weapon delay reduction through Magic Haste alone. It focuses on multi-attack gear and critical hit rate gear. I will be using my Kanagi in my main hand and Achupuku in my offhand for fast TP gain. Now on this day, I had already done 6 previous runs that were completed without issue and without a single use of Meteor, and oftentimes having Tenzen skip any of the nasty moves that he normally does, such as Amatsu Shidori. However, on my final run of the day, Kuki used Meteor and Tenzen used all of his nasty moves, so I figured doing the video showing all of this would be best. Please know though that often it will go smoother than you are about to see in this fight if you're choosing to spam this to farm Bietsu. For Trust, I'm using Seth to restore HP, MP, and TP to the party, Joachim and Omiya for March, Koru for Haste, and Yoran for Cures. Now in this example, I'm using NIN War and have remedies to use if I get slowed, paralyzed, or silenced, and Yoran doesn't remove it from me quickly enough. However, you also have the option of going NIN Dance and using Healing Walks, and that will work just fine. Like usual, I start with Utsumi-san, Kaka Ichi, and put Yonin up. I then engage and provoke. Once your first swing hits him, run to the far left corner. This is where you will spend most of your fight. Get Urine, Blind, and Slow on Tenzen while you store up to 3000 TP for either Aftermath or an opening shun. Paralyze is very hard to stick on Tenzen, so I wouldn't bother with that. All of these enfeebles also usually keep Cherokiki busy erasing for a while, which means during that time she's not casting Gaz on you. Right here, he uses Yagatsumi. Check the timer when he does and make sure you don't use any weapon skills for the 45 seconds following. In our case, that means until 26:45. Okay, we can now go back to weapon skilling. Right here, Tenzen eats his Shogun Rice Ball. All stats now boosted, and 25% damage reduction is in effect for the rest of the fight. Right here, Amatsu Shidori is used. He will start spamming weapon skills, and you will notice all of my hits will now hit for 0. Get out of range and wait for him to come to you. Then, get back to work. And there is Meteor. In a few seconds it will hit my trust and wipe all out but Yoran. When this happens, simply slow yourself down, swap to an evasion set if you're worried, and finish him while keeping your shadows up. Also notice how he caught me in the middle of an MB rotation. I had made the decision that I had enough shadows up and could MB in this rotation, only to realize a split second after pressing the macro button that Meteor was on its way. Tenzen and the Tarus must have smelled blood in the water, as starting with this next weapon skill, they get a pretty good series of combos on me, leaving me with low hit points, then stunned without shadows, then shadows or banished gut away, but I get through it. Nice try, guys. And that's it for the Warrior's Path. I recommend you try these strategies on normal to get familiar with the fight, and then work your way up to very difficult if you decide to use this to farm Bietsu. This will be my final video of 2019. 9 months ago I started this channel on a whim, and with no idea how to even make a video. It started as a way for me to share the game with others, as all of my friends in the game had sadly moved on. Since then, I've somehow managed to get over 600 subscribers, a wonderful new endgame link shell, and some of my friends of old have even returned for new adventures. Can't wait to show you more in 2020. Thanks for watching, everyone.